Act 2, Scene 4 is a very short scene that closes out a very dramatic act. The purpose of Scene 4 is to wrap up some of the action and kind of give a transition between what happened in Act 2 and what we will see happening in Act 3. And Shakespeare does this sometimes where he brings out minor characters to discuss what's going on. And this serves a couple of purposes. One, it helps the audience understand the plot by very simply stating what has happened and what will happen next. But it also gives the audience an idea of how people who are not the main actors in the play are responding to the main events in the play. And so this lets us know how ordinary Scottish citizens see what is going on around them. Maybe we think the Macbeths are doing a good job getting away with stuff, but maybe the Scottish citizens do not. So that's another reason to pay attention to this scene. This particular scene in Act 2, Scene 4 also makes some connections between the events in the natural world of animals and the weather and that sort of thing, and the events in the human world. Shakespeare does this a lot where he has the events in nature mimic, reflect, or sometimes foretell events that happen in the human world. And so pay attention to some of these weird things that the old man says he witnessed and think about what they might symbolize or what they might match up with in the actions of the play. Then, after their conversation, Macduff comes in and they discuss what's going to be happening in the next act and what everybody is going to be doing next. So pay attention to that as well.
70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled for my wings.
Ah, good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Is't night's predominance, or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth entomb when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke the stalls, flung out contending gainst obedience, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is't known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They was suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's 2 sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still. Thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own lives means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmakill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Okay, so first of all, nature versus the unnatural. So many unnatural things that are written here, which Ross himself says the heavens are troubled with man's actions. So the first one here, it is dark in the daytime. He says, by the clock 'tis day, yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Some critics or some readers will say that there might be an eclipse and that may have caused this. Or it could just be, it's northern Scotland and it's winter time, so days were pretty short. But then the old man goes on and he says that he saw a falcon attacked and killed by an owl. So that's the reverse order of the way things should happen. Finally, Ross mentions that Duncan's horses broke their stalls, so they got out of their stalls and ate each other. The horses ate each other. That's pretty crazy. Then Macduff shows up and he tells us that not only were the guards considered to have been suborned or bribed. So they think these two guards only killed Duncan because somebody told them to. And now Malcolm and Donalbain are suspected of hiring the guards. And the reason that they are suspected is because they ran away. So we saw at the end of the previous scene that they were planning on running away because they thought they were in danger. Now the fact that they have fled means that they are easy people to blame for the death of Duncan. And I kept this up here under nature and unnatural because as soon as Macduff says, we think that the king's sons killed him, Ross says, well, that goes against nature still. What could be more unnatural than killing your own father? And then we turn in the direction of, well, who gets to be king since Malcolm has run away? Why, Macbeth, of course. And he will be crowned at Scone, or Scoon, as Macduff says in his accent. And then we get the reinforcement that Macduff does not like Macbeth by him saying, nope, I'm not even going to the coronation. I'm going home to Fife. And then finally, we end with a continued theme of to make good of bad and friends of foes. We have that reverse appearances, or we have that things are not what they seem. Just like fair is foul and foul is fair. What's good is bad and friends are foes. And thus ends Act 2.